creativity is the motto of the guest of honor performance.
Yep.
At what moments do you experience creativity?
At what moment in life or writing? I think I would say that I started being creative or being a writer before I was writing. So I thought I saw life in terms of stories, but I didn't write yet. Just the way my brain was shaped was, I have to keep this story in mind. I have to keep this story in mind and tell it to others in bars, drunk probably,
nice.
And then I started writing. But the brain was shaped. It precedes the writing, the thinking in myths and stories and folklore and anecdote, things to be retold.
Like an oral.
Absolutely oral,
Yeah.
Eminently oral. Yeah. Apart from creativity, what else do you need to write?
Apart from creativity?
Creativity, yes.
For me, writing has to do with two main things. Like on the one side, like I need to have fun while writing, and then on the other side, that has a lot to do with thinking, with learning, with analyzing ideas, with like researching new things. So I would say that apart from the creative fun bit, the part of asking questions is very important for me in terms of creativity. For the first time, one of your books has been translated into German. Why this one?
Why this one? I think it has to do with a practical reason, which is that one of my readers, I could say fan, and someone who had been following my work and my writing for some time, got the idea, and he was a German native and he spoke German. He decided to have a go at it and contact a publishing company in Germany, Heine, and suggested that we could translate Huracán, which was also one of his favorite books and mine. So the whole thing rounded up nicely, because even though I had 9 books published, Huracán is one of my, you're not supposed to say this of children, but in books you can say, this is one of my favorites. With children you would say, I love them all the same, but with this, I don't love them all the same. This one I love more. This one and Revenge I love more, so I'm particularly happy that, because this was the one that got translated. About your book, which you are presenting in Frankfurt, is it important for international readers to know which country it comes from?
I think it is interesting for international readers to know which country it is from and to know that this book is originally written in Catalan. But at the same time, I think that you can read this book and you can be from any country in the world, and you can read it and you will understand it. So I think anyone can read it, but at the same time it's interesting to know where it is settled, that is settled in the Pyrenees Mountains, and that is originally written in Catalan. One of us writes in Spanish, the other in Catalan, still others in Galician, Basque. How do you feel about the linguistic diversity in our national literature?
Well, I think it's brilliant, but also we are bilingual by birth, well, me and Irene, and that also shapes the way you write, because you have 2 languages, essentially. And ideally you could choose which one to write with, which one to use in literature, because we are fluent in both orally and in written form. And I'm Catalan by birth. My name is Kiko Amat. You couldn't be more Catalan than that. I mean, it's the top Catalan name ever. But I started writing in Spanish because all my friends were the sons of the first wave of southern Spanish immigrants. So my oral voice and the voice I used to insult people and the slang I started learning was all in Spanish. For that reason and for some others in the 70s and 80s. And then naturally I ended up writing in Spanish. But I could write in Catalan. But then again, that wouldn't be as natural as it is for me to write in Spanish because it was my street voice. It was the voice I used in the street.
And then you think bars.
In bars, yeah. Bars, in fights, insulting. Now Catalan has lots of insulting words, but in my childhood, most of the most painful insults were in Spanish. So those are the ones I used. And last card. Spain was guest of honor at Frankfurter Buchmesse about 30 years ago. Why is this new appearance worthwhile? Because we are in it?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Because we are in it.
I would say the question answer itself.